thank you for stopping by for another journaling session with me. For this spread, all I knew was that I wanted to make a little pocket for a tag to go in with these copies of illustrated plants that I found at a flea market. So I don't have a template. I don't really know how I'm putting this together. I'm just kind of winging it and thinking my way through the process of making this pocket work. So I'm just kind of really trying to imagine what I want it to look like and trying to cut in the right places. And so here I'm just trying to make some little flaps so that I can glue the front part down. So I'm trying to picture in my head how it's supposed to work, how it's supposed to glue, and just trying to go with that. And that now I'm taking my scoreboard, which is quite small actually, and I'm just trying to score where I need to cut. Now these top cuts are for a flap that in the end I find out I actually don't need because I want to stick a tag in, so I don't need it to close because I want the tag to peek out over the edge of the tag. So I realized that after I ink it. So now I'm just trying to see if it actually fits together, and I'm trying to glue those edges down, but that glue is actually already used up, so I just switched to my liquid glue. Now I'm inking up the edges, and I actually forget to ink the back side, which I then do after I'm all done off camera. So here's where I cut up the flap because I really don't need it, and I just ink up that edge as well. And now I'm trying to figure out how to make the tag that I'm gonna stick into it. So I check what the width is of the little pocket, and I try to cut a strip which is a little less wide than that, and I try to see what part of the image I want to use and how high I want the tag to be, and I just cut the corner, put it on the other side to make that equal, then realize I have it the wrong way. So then I cut that and I put it onto some cardstock to just make it a little more sturdy. So I'm trying to glue it straight onto those two edges so that I have two edges less to cut, but it seems to be more difficult than I thought it would be. So now I'm just cutting the rest. Now I'm trying to see if it fits inside, and some of it was glued shut a little bit, so I had a bit of a issue, but it fit nicely. So I'm just going to ink that all up again. This side I actually do both sides. And now I am using my tiny tag punch to add another tag to that bigger tag, and I printed out some tiny little bird images, and I just choose one, punch that out, punch another piece of a cardstock out to make it more sturdy again, gluing those together and inking up the edges. And then I decide that I'm gonna put that on the side of that tag, so I'm gonna punch out a hole reinforcement, ink that up, and then punch a hole on the side of the tag because there was a lot of white space and I thought that was the perfect place for the little tag. So I just glue that reinforcement down. And then then I have to make a small hole in the little tag, and I take some cotton string and just string that through. First the little one, and then just tie it into the bigger tag. I didn't have the patience to actually make a bow, so I just made a double knot and cut those two ends off, which is fine. Okay, so now that fit in really nicely, and I like the way the little tag hangs over the little pocket. And then I wanted to add another word on the bottom, and the first word that kind of came to my mind was bliss, probably because of the beautiful images, and of course crafting is always a little bit of bliss for me. So I just decided to stamp that down on that flap that I had cut off earlier. Just cut that straight, but then I wanted to have a little more background, so I decided to glue that first onto a book page and just tear those edges around the bliss writing, and I ink those up as well, and then I just glue that down, and I really like how that turned out. So now I had to decide what I'm gonna do with that, how I'm gonna put it onto my spread. I had no idea at this point what the background would look like, so I just decided to stay with the flower motif, and I chose two flowers that weren't as dominant, so that the dominant part of the spread would stay this pocket with the red flowers. So I chose some white and light pink images, and I just cut those down to fit both sides of the page, and then you'll see I'll just ink those up, put those down, and then I am adding a what is it called, a piece of vellum that I had printed some lines on, and I just put down what bliss means to me, or which moments in my life are bliss, and I chose to put down only ones that don't involve anyone else. So I didn't add things like, you know, spending time with my husband or my BFF or whatever. I just wanted to include things that I can do with myself on my own that I would consider bliss and moments I cherish, basically. So what I put down was, I have five points. So one is crafting without noticing how time is passing. So that also includes the luxury of just having enough me time to just craft away and not have to keep looking at the watch to say, oh, I only have half an hour left or an hour left because I have to do such and such. So that is pure bliss, like on a weekend day or something where I'm alone and I can just craft to my heart's desire. Another one would be walking in the forest. I probably would have put walking on the beach or something, but I'm not in a country that has a beach, so I'm in Austria. But we do have a lot of mountains and forests and a lot of green. So I really enjoy walking in the green, and I feel like I'm kind of soaking up the energy of the trees, and it's really invigorating. I just really love it. Then the next one is soaking in a whirlpool or a jacuzzi. And that is something that I can only do like a couple times a year if I'm somewhere in a hotel that by chance has a jacuzzi or a spa. This is something that's very rare for me, which is probably why I really, really enjoy it when I do get to do that. Then I have waking up on the weekend, remembering you don't have to get up to go to work. That's also a really, really nice one, because I have to get up pretty early during the week, and so then when I don't need an alarm clock on a Saturday and Sunday, especially on a Sunday where I don't have to go shopping or anything, that is bliss. I can just turn around and go back to sleep. It's wonderful. And lastly, I have I have something which is maybe a bit controversial. I'm just gonna say it. So sitting on my couch with a cup of tea and smoking a shisha, or as you would probably say in the States, a hookah. I have to confess, I love smoking shisha, and yeah, when I have time to do that alone at home, maybe with a good movie and a nice cup of tea, yeah, that's bliss for me. That's my way of just chilling out after a day at work and leaving all the stress behind. And I know it's not healthy, but it's my pure enjoyment on the moments that I decide to do this. Yeah, so those are my moments of bliss, and I just added the date here, and that is it for today. So thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.